The U.S. has carried out a third straight night of strikes against Iran. According to U.S. Central Command, the mission lasted 5 hours and targeted multiple cities. And the strikes included the first combat use of sea drones. Tehran, they responded with attacks against U.S. allies in the Gulf. Let's go live now to CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro. Aaron, thank you for your time today. So President Trump claims the U.S. is in control of the Strait of Hormuz, but what exactly is the latest there?
Yeah, I'll start with some news that we just got this hour. Yesterday, the president said that there would be a 20% fee on ships crossing the straits as a way for the U.S. to be compensated for providing security. But just a couple minutes ago, we see President Trump on Truth Social, you're seeing the full post there, say that instead of that 20% fee, after consulting with other Middle East allies in the region, that he's replacing that fee instead with commitments from those countries to invest inside the United States. That, of course, is a big part of President Trump's economic agenda for more foreign investments, whether it be in manufacturing in the United States. He is saying now that that is replacing the 20% fee that he had floated yesterday. We did not necessarily have details on how that 20% fee would even work, the mechanism of it. The White House did not give those details quite yet, nor could the National Economic Council Director, Kevin Hassett, when he was asked if it was legal or not, that they could actually answer that question. But it seems that the president has changed his mind, has pivoted to instead having this sort of exchange of investment from these Middle Eastern countries instead of charging them for every ship that crosses the strait. He also says in that Truth Social post that the blockade that the U.S. is expected to resume this afternoon, according to the U.S. Central Command, will apply to only Iranian ports, only to ships coming to and from those ports or anything having to do with Iranian cargo. We do know that since the blockade was lifted, Iran has had sanctions lifted when it comes to transporting their oil. So that is big news, of course, when it comes to this battle over control of the Strait of Hormuz, in which you've seen the U.S. and Iran publicly really argue in terms of who actually has control over that crucial waterway.
Yeah, and Aaron, you mentioned oil there. We know the uncertainty in the Strait is spiking oil prices. So is the Trump administration, is the president concerned about this at all?
Yes, in part because you're seeing lots of statements from them after the current BLS report of June, in which inflation dropped. And you saw a White House spokesperson say that President Trump is proven right there because that's what happens when the Strait is open for business. Well, now we're in a period where the Strait of Hormuz is in a very volatile state, in which the ships crossing the strait don't have full security guarantees, and in which you're seeing, as you mentioned, a rise in oil prices, 9% yesterday, one of the highest in recent years. Barrel of Brent crude oil at about $86 a gallon or a barrel, which is less than the peak, but is still an increase from what we saw in June. It's a tricky spot for this administration as they try to find some way back to negotiations, but as well as for President Trump politically as the midterm elections approach.
Yeah. Aaron Navarro at the White House for us today. Thank you so much for your time.